Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 25th of October, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar index. This is my weekly, daily, and 60-minute chart. The cloud, of course, if we're below the cloud, we're bearish. If we're above the cloud, we're bullish. And the corresponding point and figure target. So we can see short term, the dollar has just fallen away again. The medium term trend is very much one that is up. And the longer term trend, we are edging higher to come back into bullish territory. But for the short term, we've just turned a little bit bearish, and that's what's showing up here on this chart. But for the moment, it's within trend. So the dollar might have a less good week this week, but on the whole, we are seeing that medium-term recovery. That means the euro is looking stronger against that weaker dollar, just struggling to break higher though. So again, the trend is down in the medium term. And if we look at sterling against the dollar, we see here that we are just again struggling to break higher. Euro is sitting at 118.16, so just holding the gains there, so it's looking quite good there. And if we look at Bitcoin, sitting at $62,000, again holding the levels there. The target to $83,000 still very much in place, and the fact that we made a new high last week is significant, of course. The S&P 500 index edged lower on Friday, but on the whole had a pretty good week. There's the weekly candle, and recovering to just push to new highs, so that's quite key there. And we're looking at the futures this morning. We're seeing both the S&P future up and the Nasdaq future up 0.2%, so it does suggest the markets will open slightly higher, although the VIX volatility has ticked up slightly, but it's still trending lower. That means the fear index is less fearful. The FTSE future is up 0.13%. The DAX in Germany, little change. The CAC 40 is down slightly. So market's pretty quiet this morning in Europe. Looking at the Japanese market, we're down 0.3% there. And if we look at the Shanghai Composite, we're actually up 0.75%. And the Sensex actually also just up 0.5%, still looking very strong on those longer term charts. The Aussie market up 0.33%. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Wheat continues to push higher, and we are on the verge of a breakout. This will, of course, create inflationary pressures. We've got quite big upside targets there on that long-term chart, and several of them which suggest that it adds more credence to that. Gold nudging the $1,800 mark again, has really struggled to get through the $1,800. We did see a move on Friday above 1,800, but it's pulled back again. But that's the level that we're playing with at the moment. And if we look at silver, sitting at 24.40 this morning, again has work to do to break out, and 30 is the ultimate level that we need to see broken. US 10-year yield sitting at 1.66%. So just holding the trend there, and still the targets are 1.79, 1.75%. So market is expecting bond yields to go higher. Looking at Brent Crude this morning, breaking to a new high, so breaking the levels that we saw last week, so looking strong there. We've gone out to clients as bullish again this week on crude oil. US nat gas, another feature, has turned the corner, was in a downtrend, now back into an uptrend. Looks like it found a higher low, which is significant. Can we go above the 650 level? We've got targets that suggest we can, but in the short term, and again we've got upside targets, so we're bullish there as well this week. Coal's been an interesting one. It actually made a lower low on Friday. You can see here that was the level at about 121, and we've actually moved below that, so that isn't good news for coal, and we do have downside target. We have a mixture of downside and upside, so we're neutral coal this week at the moment, but it is on watch. Looking at emissions, we are up 2% this morning, but the chart is still below the cloud. The 1 minute chart looking a little bit better than it was, but still looking questionable. Maybe we found support on the cloud last week, which is where we bounced, so we're just going to watch that. Gas is up 5% this morning on MBP, nearly 6%, but still has a lot of work to do to break higher. We're neutral. We're actually bearish on MBP at the moment, neutral on TTF, but obviously they will follow each other. And looking at German power, we're seeing here we're up 2% this morning, not enough really to change the picture, and we're all eyes on just holding these lows. And again, we've got targets in both directions. That's it for this week. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.